Day 2 of Operation Dudula, members showing support for their leader, Lindo, but I don't suppose that the scenes were as what we saw yesterday, were they?
Well, there's a bigger crowd, Tulas, I should say, of Operation Dudula members that are joined by other organizations. Today we even saw some tracking organizations that had been calling for illegal immigrants as well as immigrant workers to not actually be working in South Africa and actually prioritize those trackers. But the main objective of today is, as yesterday, to demonstrate here at the Central Police Station in Johannesburg for Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini to be released. I'll give you some of the ideas around the pictures that we are seeing just behind me. These members have been singing since 10 a.m. This morning, essentially demonstrating and saying that they will be here while some processes take place inside. Now, let me take you inside in terms of the idea of what's been happening to us. We have been expecting that at around 10 a.m. there would have been a identification parade of Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini by the victim of this case that was accompanied by EFF members to actually go and open a case against Nhlanhla Lux, which ultimately led to his arrest. But what we have been told after a couple of hours was that that particular victim was nowhere to be found in terms of conducting this identification parade. And this is now the developments that are bringing us here to say that the lawyers as well as the investigating officer are in fact engaging with some of the prosecutors, just getting a sense of whether they can allow Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini to in fact be released at the police station with a bail from the police station if this particular victim is nowhere to be found. So the expectation was around 3 p.m. we would be getting a sense from some of those meetings that are happening behind closed doors. But on the outside, we are seeing demonstrations continuing to in fact be here, as now they are even pointing at their watch saying that they have been giving them time and they were expecting that at around 3 p.m. they would have gotten a report back in terms of what are the developments, since the victim in this case is nowhere to be found to conduct this identification parade. So as you are seeing them, Tulas, they were not near the service center entrance. They were actually moving around the precinct singing. But now that it's 3 p.m., you are seeing them lining up here at the front saying that the time has come for us to get a feedback in terms of what's been happening inside. Of course, their legal team as well as their leaders of Operation Dudula movement from Alexandra, the Patriotic Alliance led by their deputy president, are some of the people who have been seen coming out and actually addressing them. So that's the expectation here. And in fact, as I speak about the deputy president of the Patriotic Alliance, he is showing here. So it does seem that it's actually time for a report back as far as those negotiations are concerned, and these leaders are the ones to give it at some point.
All right, Lindo, as we wait for that report back, talk to me about mood and temperament of the crowd. We did see, skirmishes yesterday between them and police. How is it today? What's the mood and temperament, especially given that they had set a particular deadline around some of these developments, 3 p.m. being key for them to get some kind of a report back on what's happening inside?
Well, Tulas, what we saw yesterday in terms of those clashes between police and Operation Dudula members was after the expectation that Nhlanhla Lux would be walking out. When they were told and addressed by their leaders that that would not be happening, we saw that they tried to go inside and saying they want to go to their cells and actually wait with Nhlanhla Lux throughout the night until today, when those negotiations would then continue. So today they have been able to keep a calm front. They have been able to calm these members of Operation Dudula to say that they mustn't do anything that will in fact encourage police to actually engage with them. But on the police's side, we will show you just in front of the police station here, there are members of the South African Police Services that are stationed here, ensuring that whatever happened yesterday in terms of the disappointment that they saw from members of Operation Dudula when they were told that Nhlanhla Lux would spend the night, they said that that now today they will be prepared, as you see some of the members of the South African Police Services making sure that whatever the outcome of those negotiations, they will not in fact be having the similar reaction. One of the things, Tulas, very briefly, as I want to move away from this particular place to show you the preparation of the police, is in fact that we've also seen an addition. I'll ask Percy to turn with me very quickly as I move swiftly to try and show you. Police Inyalas are all stationed around here, so it shows that police are expecting that whatever the outcome is, they will have to mend the situation that played out yesterday. And Percy will show you that there's plenty of police here, plenty of JMPD officers that are going to ensure that peace is something that remains here, as whatever outcome that is expected will be issued by some of the leaders that are lining up in front there. But this crowd that is on my right-hand side has always said that they will be here, they will ensure that Nhlanhla Lux from inside can hear their voices, and at some point when they are at rest, police are on standby to ensure that those scenes do not happen. But I can tell you that these members of Operation Dudula and other parties that have affiliated with them and associated with them are definitely going to react when there is in fact bad news, because one of the things they said in celebration earlier on was to say that if the victim does not want to come forward and allow the process to take its place, then there should be no reason why Nhlanhla Lux Dlamini is kept inside.
Yeah. Lastly and briefly, Lindo, there was, of course, the anti-xenophobia march that was taking place somewhere in the vicinity there of the Johannesburg CBD. What can you tell us about whether or not at any point during the day they were within, I don't know, earshot of each other, or they could see each other? And what can you tell us about the interaction between the two movements?
Tulas, I can tell you that there was some tension here, especially as we saw some of these members of Operation Dudula gathering among themselves, some of them whispering among themselves. This was an update to say that the people who are marching against xenophobia would be coming to this particular police station to hand over their memorandum. Now, we do know that in previous cases where they tried to march, that is the anti-xenophobic march, these Operation Dudula members said they would meet them toe-to-toe, because they do not understand how they would march for foreigners on Human Rights Day. Now, that was cancelled at that point, so we were expecting that if they would meet, there would be some clashes, but police should be commended for their quick strategy and quick thinking, because what they did was to divert those people who were marching from the anti-xenophobic march to another entrance, which is on the other hand of this particular air service entrance here, where Operation Dudula members are protesting. So they were able to divert the traffic to the other side, hand over their memorandum peacefully, and actually let them disperse in the other direction. But there certainly was a tension. As you see, some of these Operation Dudula members were saying that if they are confronted at some point, they would be left with no choice but to react, because they would have been provoked while they were here, while those people knew exactly that they were here. Marching here would have been a provocation for them. But police should be commended for actually averting that situation and actually making sure that strategies divert the traffic away from here.
All right, Lindo, let's leave it there for now. We'll catch up with you a bit later on and hopefully hear what report back that crowd will be getting from some of their leaders. It's a story that's taking on an increasingly complex path in as far as politics is concerned.